The earth beneath us is never truly still. Deep within the Nankai Trough, tectonic plates grind against each other, building up unimaginable pressure. This silent struggle can only end one way, a mega-quake. Scientists warn that an earthquake of magnitude 9 is not a matter of if, but when. The clock is ticking. The probability is a stark 80% within the next 3 decades. This is not a distant threat, it is a looming shadow, a stark reminder of nature's awesome power. The Nankai Trough, a deep underwater trench stretching along Japan's Pacific coast, is a ticking time bomb. It is here that the Philippine sea plate collides with the Eurasian plate, creating a volatile zone. The accumulated stress from centuries of tectonic movement is a powder keg waiting to explode. The potential magnitude of this impending earthquake is staggering. Experts predict it could reach up to magnitude 9, a level of seismic fury rarely witnessed. The consequences of such an event are difficult to fathom. Coastal communities, already familiar with the destructive power of tsunamis, face the most immediate and catastrophic risk. But the impact would be felt far beyond the shoreline. The entire nation, from bustling metropolises to rural villages, would be shaken to its core. The inevitability of the Nankai Trough Mega-Quake is a chilling reality. It is a sobering reminder of the forces that shape our planet and the vulnerability of human civilization in the face of nature's wrath. The question is not if, but when and how prepared we will be when the Earth trembles. The impact zone of the Nankai Trough Mega-Quake reads like a grim roll call of Japan's most populous regions. 10 prefectures, home to millions, are predicted to experience the full brunt of seismic intensity, 7 on the Japanese scale. This is a level of shaking that can topple buildings and shatter infrastructure, but the devastation will not be confined to these areas alone. 24 more prefectures will endure lower 6 or higher intensities, extending the reach of the disaster far inland. The aftershocks alone, likely to be numerous and powerful, will ripple across the nation, causing further damage and hampering rescue efforts. But the quake's fury will not be limited to land. The ensuing tsunami will be a force of unimaginable destruction. Waves exceeding 10 meters are projected to slam into Tokyo and 12 other prefectures, stretching from the Kanto to Kyushu regions. Coastal communities will be swallowed whole. Some areas may even face walls of water towering over 30 meters, dwarfing anything witnessed in recent history. This is not just a coastal event. The tsunami will surge inland, inundating low-lying areas miles from the shore. Rivers will become raging torrents, carrying the ocean's wrath deep into the heartland. The sheer geographic scope of the disaster is daunting. No one will be left untouched. The potential human cost of the Nankai Trough Mega-Quake is a grim calculus. Direct deaths, primarily from the tsunami, are estimated to reach a staggering 298,000 in the worst-case scenario. Each life lost represents a family shattered, a community torn apart. But the true toll of disaster extends far beyond the immediate aftermath. Indirect deaths caused by factors such as injuries, disease outbreaks, and the collapse of healthcare systems paint an even more devastating picture. Estimates suggest that 52,000 people could succumb to these post-disaster hardships. This figure, 13 times higher than the indirect death toll of the 2011 Great East Japan earthquake, underscores a chilling reality. The aftermath of a disaster can be as deadly as the event itself. The lessons of recent tragedies like the 2016 Kumamoto and 2024 Noto Peninsula earthquakes, where indirect deaths surpassed direct ones, are etched in sorrow. The Nankai Trough Mega-Quake, with its potential for widespread devastation, poses a monumental challenge to post-disaster response and recovery. The sheer scale of human suffering is almost beyond comprehension. But these numbers are not just statistics. They represent individual lives, each with their own story, their own hopes and dreams. The true cost of the Nankai Trough Mega-Quake will be measured in the tears of families, the shattered dreams of a nation. The economic ramifications of the Nankai Trough Mega-Quake are as staggering as the potential loss of life. The projected damage, estimated at 270 trillion yen, is a figure that defies easy comprehension. It is double the national budget, a financial blow that would cripple even the most robust economy. The destruction of infrastructure will be widespread and catastrophic. Transportation networks, crucial for emergency response and economic activity, will be crippled. Roads will buckle, bridges will collapse, and ports will be rendered unusable. This disruption will have a ripple effect, paralyzing supply chains and isolating communities. The industrial heartland of Japan, concentrated along the Pacific coast, will be hit particularly hard. Factories will be reduced to rubble, production lines silenced, and countless businesses destroyed. The impact on Japan's position as a global economic powerhouse will be significant and long-lasting. The tourism industry, already grappling with the aftermath of recent disasters, will be decimated. The iconic landmarks that draw visitors from around the world will be scarred or destroyed, and the once thriving tourism sector will struggle to recover. The economic burden of the Nankai Trough Mega-Quake will be felt for generations. Rebuilding will require a monumental effort, a national endeavor to heal both the physical and economic wounds of disaster. Section 5. Shaken to the core, the menace of long-period ground motion. Beyond the immediate devastation of ground shaking and tsunami, the Nankai Trough Mega-Quake harbors a more insidious threat: long-period ground motion. This phenomenon, characterized by slow and prolonged oscillations of the Earth, poses a unique danger to urban areas and high-rise structures, even those located far from the epicenter. The 2024 Myanmar quake provided a stark example of this threat. Skyscrapers in Bangkok, hundreds of miles from the epicenter, swayed ominously as long-period ground motion rippled through the earth. Similar scenarios could unfold in Japan with potentially catastrophic consequences. High-rise buildings designed to withstand vertical loads are particularly vulnerable to the lateral forces exerted by long-period ground motion. Unsecured furniture and equipment can become deadly projectiles, while structural damage, though not immediately visible, can compromise the integrity of a building. The need to assess the structural safety of buildings in the wake of the earthquake poses a significant challenge. With an estimated shortage of engineers, the process could take over a month, leaving residents and businesses in limbo. This invisible threat, often overshadowed by the more immediate dangers of ground shaking and tsunami, demands attention. Securing furniture and equipment, developing evacuation plans for high-rise buildings, and addressing the shortage of structural engineers are crucial steps in mitigating the risk posed by long-period ground motion. Section 6. The Ready State. Assessing Japan's disaster preparedness. Japan, a nation forged in the crucible of natural disasters, has long been at the forefront of disaster preparedness. Stringent building codes, early warning systems, and a culture of disaster awareness are deeply ingrained in Japanese society. Evacuation towers designed to provide refuge from towering tsunami waves dot the coastline. Regular disaster drills are a part of life, ensuring that citizens know how to respond when disaster strikes. However, despite these commendable efforts, the government's own assessments reveal a sobering truth: they are not fully prepared for the Nankai Trough Mega-Quake. Reduction targets for casualties and economic damage have not been met, exposing vulnerabilities in the nation's defenses. One contributing factor is the evolving understanding of the tsunami risk. As scientific models have become more sophisticated, the projected inundation zones have expanded, encompassing areas previously considered safe. This necessitates a reassessment of evacuation plans and infrastructure development. Public awareness also plays a crucial role in disaster preparedness. While Japan has a high level of disaster awareness, complacency can set in, particularly among younger generations who may not have experienced the full fury of nature's wrath. Bridging this awareness gap is crucial to ensuring that all citizens are prepared to face the challenges of a megaquake. Section 7. Lost in translation: the plight of foreign nationals. In the chaotic aftermath of a disaster, information is survival. Yet for Japan's growing foreign population, accessing crucial information, supplies and transportation can be a daunting challenge. Language barriers, cultural differences, and a lack of targeted support systems create a dangerous vulnerability. Imagine being unable to understand evacuation orders or not knowing where to seek help in a foreign land. This is the harsh reality faced by many foreign residents and visitors in the event of a disaster. The 2011 Great East Japan earthquake served as a stark reminder of this challenge. Many foreigners struggled to access information, leading to confusion, fear, and in some cases, preventable tragedies. Addressing this vulnerability requires a multi-pronged approach. Multilingual alert systems, readily available translation services, and culturally sensitive outreach programs are essential. Community-based support networks where foreign residents can connect with each other and access information can also play a vital role. Ensuring the safety and well-being of all residents, regardless of nationality or language, is not just a moral imperative. It is essential for effective disaster response and recovery. In the wake of a disaster, unity and solidarity are paramount. Leaving any segment of the population behind is not an option. Section 8, the Golden Hour, Evacuation and Beyond. In the face of an impending tsunami, every second counts. The first hour after the earthquake, often referred to as the Golden Hour, is critical for survival. Immediate evacuation to higher ground, even if it means leaving behind possessions, can mean the difference between life and death. Studies have shown that immediate evacuation could reduce tsunami-related deaths by as much as 70%. This underscores the importance of swift decision-making and a clear understanding of evacuation routes. But evacuation is just the first step in a long and arduous journey. Preparing for the aftermath of the Nankai Trough Mega-Quake requires a multifaceted approach. Building quake-resistant housing, particularly in vulnerable coastal areas, is crucial to minimizing casualties and damage. Securing furniture and heavy objects within homes can prevent injuries from falling debris during the earthquake. Stocking up on emergency supplies, including water, food, first aid kits, and essential medications, can ensure survival in the days following the disaster. Community-based preparedness initiatives, where neighbors help neighbors, can foster resilience and expedite recovery. The Nankai Trough Mega-Quake will test the very fabric of Japanese society. But by embracing a culture of preparedness, by taking individual and collective responsibility for our safety and well-being, we can mitigate the impact of this inevitable disaster. Section 9, a call to action fortifying Japan's resilience. The Nankai Trough Mega-Quake is not a distant threat, it is a looming reality. The time for complacency is over. Professor Fukuwa Nobuo, a leading voice in disaster preparedness, emphasizes the need for a nationwide effort to fortify Japan's resilience. His recommendations are a clarion call to action. Nationwide quake-proofing of buildings and infrastructure is paramount. This means not only constructing new structures to withstand seismic events, but also retrofitting existing ones, particularly schools, hospitals, and other critical facilities. Population dispersal, particularly in overcrowded urban centers, can mitigate the impact of a disaster by reducing the concentration of people in high-risk areas. A national risk management monitoring system, capable of providing real-time information on earthquake activity, tsunami warnings, and evacuation routes, is essential for effective disaster response. Increasing the number of disaster management personnel within the government, both at the national and local levels, will enhance coordination and decision-making during emergencies. Minister Nakano Hiramasa, acknowledging the expanded tsunami inundation zones, has vowed to improve countermeasures. The focus will be on quake-proofing, resource resilience, and infrastructure development. While these commitments are encouraging, the true measure of preparedness lies in action, not words. The Nankai Trough Mega-Quake will be a defining moment for Japan. It will test our resolve, our unity, and our capacity for compassion. But by heeding the warnings, by preparing ourselves and our communities, we can face this challenge with courage and resilience. The time to act is now.